culture. But in pushing Guyanese culture, also add to this tapestry, this colorful tapestry that is the Caribbean as well.
Good afternoon, guys. You join me in the elevator going up to the second day of the Caribbean Influencers and Content Creators Summit. Last night was a movie. It's like 4 p.m. I only got out of bed recently and I missed the cafe rave that I was supposed to go to at the Chinese Mall, Love and Latte. Anyway, today's gonna be great. I've actually made it on time for the panel that Norman and Samson are gonna be a part of. So let's tune in, let's see who we see. This afternoon is gonna be jam-packed full of creators and people that you may recognize. Okay, let's see who we could spot here. Who we got? That's Norm right there. World famous Professor Moore right there. And then the panelists at the front.
And welcome content producer Norman Gobin. All right, put your hands together and welcome all the way from the USA, Melissa Noel. All the way from Jamaica, Juliet Bodley. And all the way from Trinidad and Tobago, Certified Samson. Is creator collaboration and shaping the global narrative surrounding the region?
Yeah, I have been a journalist now for 17 years, and I started in network television in New York City, working overnight, graveyard shift at ABC News, working my way up, and then I left network news because I wanted to tell Caribbean stories and spent about a decade traveling the region and getting to tell the stories. And what that taught me was that no matter where you are, as long as you are telling the story of people and telling what connects one person to another, everybody has a granny, auntie, sister, mother, cousin. People go through the same kinds of things in different spaces. And if you're able to make a connection with that story, it doesn't matter where someone is from, people are going to want to do that. And what I learned walking into newsrooms is that it was often thought that Caribbean stories weren't necessarily relatable or there wasn't an audience for that. And I would always push back. How can there not be an audience for something that is universal, right? How can there not be an audience when we have over 5 million people of Caribbean ancestry in the US alone, and that's only by the numbers on the census, right? There is an audience. We should not only be hearing about the Caribbean when it is natural disaster or something that is, bad. We should be hearing about fashion and tech and culture and industry and beauty and so many other things. So I had to really, honestly, I remember I was at ABC when I was 21. I was scared to push back at those times, but then I knew that it was bigger than me. I knew that I had to kind of get away from that shyness and being scared to standing up and saying, no, y'all gotta do better. These stories deserve better, the region deserves better. And so what I did was I took a risk, and leaving network news, you're always told, like, that's career suicide. Like, what are you doing? How are you gonna follow this trajectory if you leave? And I said, you know what? I'm betting on myself. So I left, and I worked at One Caribbean TV for several years. I worked at CBS Puerto Rico, and I met so many people along the way. And so many of the collaborations I do now, both at Essence as a senior news and travel editor, and under my company, Melanin Media, is collaboration. One example is I partnered with the Grenada Tourism Authority to put on their epic Spice Mass press trip, and we were able to bring in Samson last year, Certified Samson, to come in as one of the incredible Caribbean content creators to be a part of that experience. Now, had I not worked with and covered tourism for so many years and built a relationship with Grenada Tourism Authority over a decade, I don't think that when I approached them, it would have been something that they may have been keen to in terms of trusting me, knowing that I would get the job done, and also really knowing my track record. So I say that to say that sometimes the collaboration is not going to happen right away. Not because you meet somebody today, they may be in this room, you're gonna get to collaborate with them as soon as this is over, or next year, or the next year. Maybe it's you're doing smaller things, and then when that big opportunity comes, you get to do it. So a lot of the clients I have now under Melanin Media came from years of me working and traveling across the region, meeting people, and follow it up and keep it up with what they were doing. It can't just be today for today and tomorrow, they can't do anything for me and that's it. You really have to follow people's journeys as you want them to follow yours.
I'm Guyanese. I started content creation because I wanted to push that culture, Guyanese culture. But in pushing Guyanese culture, you also add to this tapestry, this colorful tapestry that is the Caribbean as well. So I say personally, I'm doing my part. Everyone should do their part.
So we're going to prepare to invite.
You good?
Yeah, I'm great, man.
Bro, I got no brain cells going. I couldn't ask a single question.
Rest is a part
I
of
got
work.
nothing going on.
Protecting life.
Alright, that's a wrap on this year's conference. We've got all of the creators behind us. It went well. I think it was pretty good. Looking forward to next year. Welcome back to my kitchen. Look, this entire weekend has been really heavy on this whole content creator influencer summit, which by the way was amazing. But I think the question that like a lot of people have is, what is influence? Like, I hate the word influencer. I don't think I am, but I do believe that I wield a little bit of influence. But there was a couple conversations that happened today that was around the idea of like, what if you don't want to put your face, or what does influence equate to? And I wanted to talk to you about something that I think a lot of people kind of forget about. I want to talk to you about something that I think goes slept on a little bit. If you didn't know, I write every single day a free daily business newsletter for Guyana. Well, I say write. I compile, I curate, I form, I generate, I send. Even that I don't really do. I automate all of that. But what I've done is I've created this newsletter with I'm looking at it right now. I have 1,531 active subscribers. That means that with 43% open rate, which means that every single day about 750 people open my newsletter every single day to read and try to do better in business and gain insights and tips and knowledge and whatever it may be. And that is influence. That generates influence in my greater sphere. So you see a lot of my silly videos and it gets you in the funnel, but I want you to subscribe to my newsletter because it's actually very valuable. I break down the news, I put it all into a funnel, and then I put out opportunities for small, medium, large enterprises, and then side hustles for people with jobs. There's a little bit of something for everyone. And it sounds super complicated, but I'm gonna run you through exactly how it works to kind of show how to generate influence outside of the concept of just making videos, right? How to create real value with not a lot of money or not a lot of like actual asset, because this mostly does itself. It takes me about 20-25 minutes every evening, and it costs me about 120 US a month to do. How much revenue does it generate? None. But, well, not directly, but it's set to argue, right, that like, as you read my newsletter every single day, you're more likely to buy one of my one-on-one consult packages, which I charge 150 US for. I do a couple of those a week. So, you know, I could justify the cost of this newsletter. Okay, so this is how I do it. Right off the bat, I use an app called Zapier, okay? Zapier, you create something called Zaps right here. And what it does, Zapier is like the magic glue that holds the entire internet together. You've heard of like dark matter that holds the universe together? Zapier is one of the magical things that holds the internet together in automations. It can make different apps that don't normally work together. So in this case, what I'm making work together is I've got something called an RSS feed pull. Okay, so that's an app that's actually within Zapier. And what I do is like I've plugged it into 2 newspapers in Guyana. I'm not gonna say which ones because I don't want them to change it up, but I've got 2 feeds. I used to have 3, but one of them, I don't think they changed it up. I just think that, you know, they got lazy. But an RSS means stands for really simple syndication. I forgot that for a second. It allows platforms to be able to pull the news as they publish it and then carry it across. So I grab all of that information, and using Zapier, I automatically put it to Word documents like this. So you see here, feed 1 and feed 2. Those are good, and I've been modifying them every so often. And what they do is they pile into these bad boys. So every single day, it just posts the news articles here. See? So these are all the articles from one feed entire day. And by feed, I mean like one newspaper in Guyana. And again, because the internet's not that complicated, I go into this folder and I go Control A. So I copy all. Control C, copy. I go to ChatGPT here, and now I've got this prompt that I use. I just copy and paste it from file to file. I go there, enter. And then now what it's doing is it's going to professionally summarize the business, like it filters for business stories and then summarizes only the business ones. Okay, now I do the exact same thing. Oh, and because again, it's not super intelligent, I'll now just go, boop, and I clean it so that I know that when I come and do it tomorrow. Again, it's funny, in the high-tech world, a lot of the high-tech world you're familiar with is actually just a lot of really smart systems held together by a lot of very manual systems. So I'll clear that document like that, just so that when it starts to pull more articles tomorrow, I don't have any overlap. Everything that like I pull from when I do it tomorrow, I know is from tomorrow because I've cleared this one. I'll go do now the exact same thing with the second feed. Okay, so now that that's done, what I'm gonna do is post another prompt that I've got saved that I've spent a lot of time like tweaking and fixing and making good, and it gets me the answers I want. And this prompt basically tells it, I want you to take all the news from today, business and non-business, and I want you to come up with the 3 top opportunities for small, medium, and large business and put into a paragraph. So if you already subscribe or if you've ever read my newsletter, this is where that section comes from. So one simple prompt. And here we go. Voila. And there we go. And now that that's done, I've got a prompt that I've engineered for 3 side hustles based on all the news. Again, same sort of prompt, same sort of database selection that we've done in the one before, but this one is specifically for side hustles, and very specifically. Now, finally, the last step in all of this is my last prompt literally just says, write a concise introduction to today's newsletter based on all the results so far today, making no more than 2 lines. So this gives you the nice little intro. And then from here, all I have to do is curate and choose which articles I want to bring across, copy and paste, present it all up. And actually, I've got to do the photos. I'll show you how that works now. Now, the images that I use are real simple to generate. All I do is use this prompt. Go right here and I say, I've chosen the article, generate a widescreen artistic representation of the article, then the magic button. And where is it? There we go. And there you go, as simple as that. So we're probably gonna go with this one. Boop. Now I know it's gonna be really easy to be like, but Alex, this is just a little newsletter, like no one reads it, or like, okay, cool, 750 people read it a day. Ooh la la. Let me show you something. I do this every single day. Now bear with me on this one. I have delivered a total, since I started this newsletter, I have sent and delivered 511,000 emails. 218,000 opens, and the rest of these are fairly unimportant. But that right there, right? That is how you build influence. It's not about just like, virality in one video means absolutely nothing. Like I showed you, I've got 1,500 readers of my newsletter. That doesn't sound like a huge amount, but I hit them every single day. I have delivered 500,000 emails in the last 12 months or so, with 218,000 opens. That means that that is 218,000 opportunities for people to open my email and be like, wow, Alex, you're good, this is useful. And people do that every single day. Now, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to show you guys. Influence is this weird thing that we all talk about. We don't really know how to generate it. Like, what is true? I don't know. Maybe I'm tooting my own horn. It's real late at night. I'm just trying to show you that you can literally do anything. I'm not a journalist, but I found a way to impact the people around me cost effectively. I haven't spent a dime. Okay, I've spent a little bit on marketing, but that was in the early days. Now it's just word of mouth. And anyway, what I'm trying to show you is you can create cool things. You, right there. We're all on this together. I hope you have a great day. Signing out. We've got a busy couple days ahead of us, and then we're going to DR. All right, good. Have a great night. Ciao.